This is what isolation madness looks like to someone that's used to doing a lot of outdoor activity and a lot of running and a lot of gym work and stuff like that. I'm recording this a few days later. This is obviously when I had COVID. It was actually after this session when I started getting more symptoms of COVID and started feeling a little bit worse. So, not really terrible, but like a runny nose and a sore throat. But I sort of lost my voice, so I couldn't really talk over anything for a little bit. But this was a session I did on the 2nd of June, which would have been maybe third day into lockdown, fourth day in. Well, not really lockdown, isolation. And I was really, gunning for some cardio, and I was like almost convincing myself. I was like, I could just go downstairs, I'll put a mask on and use the treadmill downstairs. But I was shied away from it just for the fact that I don't want to spread this to anyone else. So I thought, look, I've got a good space on my balcony here. I just want to get some fresh air. Let's do some cardio. And then I'm like, well, what sort of cardio can I do besides like running on the spot? And I was like, yeah, jumping jacks. Haven't done jumping jacks in ages. I, barely remember how to do them. It took me a while just to warm into it, just to understand how to do a jumping jack again. And I was like, all right, let's do, let's just see if we can do 1,000 or get close to 1,000 or something like that, and see how we go, and get the heart rate up, and just do sort of 30 minutes of cardio out on the balcony. And that's why this is all sped up. This is about 30 minutes worth of cardio that I did on the balcony. I literally did about 1,000 jumping jacks, give or take, maybe 30 or 40, depending on how badly I miscounted some of them, because you just get halfway through them and then you just forget where you're up to. So yeah, that's essentially what I did, and I can tell you afterwards, my ankles, my feet, the soles of my feet, all that dorsiflexing, plantar flexing on an angle that I was doing, the soles of my feet were sore, hips were sore, shoulders were sore, my rotator cuffs were so sore from lifting my arms up like 1,000 times in the air. Look, it wasn't just that as well. I just did some A skips and some B skips and stuff like that on the balcony as well, just to mix it up. Fires the hip flexors and the glutes a lot more, gets a lot of fatigue in the legs there. Obviously staying on my toes this whole time as well. My calves were aching for a couple of days, so it was just really... It's a really good workout, a little bit of muscular endurance there, getting a burn in the calves while you're getting your heart rate up. And obviously this isn't getting my heart rate up, isn't, like running would. But it gets me pretty close. Gets me, sort of 130 beats per minute, I'd say, 135, quite comfortably. Yeah, but oh man, I had this going through my head where I was like, I just need to get out and do something, and I don't want to lose my cardio. And it was funny because I'm saying this a few days later, but I went for a run after isolation. I'm now recording this after I left my ISO, but I went for a run a few days after ISO, and it absolutely killed me. And the lungs were on fire, and I did a 5k, and I did it in like 25 minutes, which is quite a slow run for me. That would be like a recovery run for me or something like that, and it absolutely killed me. My heart rate was up to like 170, lungs felt like they were on fire. So it was interesting how this illness sort of progressed from me feeling like I got a lot of energy like there in that moment, but reeling out of it now. It's I'm wanting to sleep a lot. I'm just feeling generally a little bit fatigued. Like I still have good energy levels while I'm awake, but it's during my sleep where I feel like, look, I'll get 8 hours of sleep and I'll wake up, I'll still feel tired. So I've been getting, sleeping 10, 11 hours of late since sort of getting over COVID, which has been quite interesting, because when I had COVID, look, I was barely symptomatic. Like I said, I had a sore throat and a runny nose, and it just wasn't seeming like a big problem to me. Like I took a little bit of Panadol maybe once or twice, and I was just on top of the vitamins and these lozenges with zinc and vitamin C in them and all that, and I was doing the mouthwashes, keeping the viral load down in my throat, and things like that. So I was doing a lot of the things done right, and in and out of me working out and doing my daily workouts, I was resting quite a lot. And even after this session, like I don't do too heavy a workout after that. It's a lot of bodyweight stuff and like kettlebells, because to be honest, man, like after this session I was sort of done, and whilst I had a lot of energy in this session to do all these cardio exercises and these skips and stuff like that, I was fried afterwards. I was completely gone, and yeah, like again, it's not like I was too sick. It's like I had a cold, but my energy just went, and I got quite sore from this, quite sore from this workout. But look, in the moment, it was good. I had some good tunes going. It was really good for my mental health, just to get a bit of that dopamine running again. And yeah, look, it was a lovely day on the balcony. Like this is the kind of day where I would have been outside, doing my 5 or 10k, middle of the day heat, verging, pushing on heat stroke. But it was just one of those days where I had to do it on the inside of my balcony, which is fair enough. Got some mad blisters on the inside of my feet as well. So it was nice to have something that I could show for my hard work. Doing all this repetition, because it's a lot of repetition and it's a lot of staying in your own head and doing these exercises, and I'm literally, running on the spot for part of it as well. Trying to keep knees up and then just trying to keep toes off the ground, and I was just trying to think of things that would get my heart rate up and give me a good cardio workout. So I started just bouncing around off the balls of my feet a little bit, trying to keep my heart rate up while I'm just thinking about what to do next. Shoulders got really fatigued, so I couldn't really lift my arms up in the end, so I was doing sort of half lifts and the legs were going out. And yeah, look, finished with a bunch of A-skips and burpees. So I finished with 20 burpees at the end, just to round it off and feel really fatigued. And yeah, look, it was a fantastic little, home cardio workout where you don't need a lot of space. Everything I'm pretty much doing it on the spot, except for a little, those skier jumps I was doing at the start. But look, you can, just do what I'm doing here and just, popping my legs out, spinning around in a circle, staying on my toes, bobbing up and down, side to side, whatever. It goes a long way in keeping your heart rate up and just getting you into that position where you can burn some energy, get some cardio in, get a little bit of muscular endurance in for your legs, and work your ankles and work your calves. Do some A-skips, work the hip flexors and the glutes, and get a solid cardio workout in. Like I said, there's not a lot of excuses to not work out, because I'm just here on my balcony and I can't go anywhere else. But I could do a solid 30-minute workout with just these basic movements, and it was all cardio, and it was a really good workout, and I felt really good after it. It was just unfortunate that the day after was sort of really when COVID started to hit me, and I started feeling just more fatigued and tired. But this was a good workout, and I felt really good after it. I don't know if I can say too much after this, to be honest. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. It was just a bit of a slack week for me. I couldn't really upload anything. I was still working out. But I didn't really get to do any really good workouts until I left ISO. When I left ISO, I went and I did some squatting for the first time after I hurt my back, and that was just 60 kilos, doing reps of sets of 10 with 60 kilos on the back. I did some squats, did some good benching again. Look, the benching, I felt like I didn't lose too much weight. I was doing a lot of push-ups in and around these workouts, and even if I didn't film them, I was probably just doing sets of 20 push-ups around the house during the day anyway when I was bored. I'd be reading a book and then, get up to go get a drink of water, do 20 push-ups. Get up to go to the toilet, come back, 20 push-ups before I sit back down on the couch. Things like that, just to keep the muscular endurance there, and just to do something, because I was bored as. So I came back and I did some good bench. I didn't exactly hit 90 kilos, but I was hitting 80 kilos for 3 reps and things like that. And today, which is the 8th, I'm recording this on the 8th, and today I did some really good deadlifting, which I filmed and I'll talk about later. So I feel like the fatigue and all the general feeling of being crap has worn off, but I feel like I've kept a lot of strength. It's just maybe my cardio and that sort of endurance is going downhill a little bit. With the COVID, we obviously know the effects some of these spike proteins have on your vascular system, and people who have had severe COVID and things like that get a lot of scarring on their lungs and longer term problems breathing, or have longer term problems with fatigue. 3-4 months after contracting the virus. So it's just interesting how we all handle it, and I think in general how all our immune systems handle being sick, and what our workload should be when we're sick versus when we're not sick, and how we really have to look into active recovery and health and wellness, and what we're eating and what we're putting into our body, and how we're treating our body outside of our workouts. You know, are we giving ourselves enough rest? Are we icing things when they need to be iced? Are we doing hot and cold therapy? Are we having, you know, are we getting in all our nutrients, all our protein, all our carbs, our vitamins, and things like that? It's, you know, you start looking at your body a little bit more holistically rather than just you know, eating whatever and getting fuel and going to work. You start to think about how you can, you know, take care of yourself a little bit better when you're sick, because everything just becomes a little bit more of that struggle when you're sick. Everything's just a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder to wake up. It's a little bit harder to get comfortable. It's a little bit harder to cook dinner, go for a run, do 1,000 jumping jacks on your balcony. You know, it's things like that where you really start looking at, okay, how do I get myself better quicker so I stop feeling crap? And, you know, I want to feel good again. How do I get myself feeling good again? And I think there's a lot of this that we need to implement in our daily lives, and not just when we are sick. As preventative measures, as prophylactic measures, and as just good quality standards for our life, and, you know, for the way we treat ourselves. But look, I'll leave it at that. Cheers, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.